Hi, this is Nike Roach, and at our company, we help people to build businesses while having a life, staying healthy, longer, traveling the world, and of course, doing it while enjoying the planet that we're on. And I wanted to ask you a question. And this is the question, and before I do that, I want to step back and put the story. When I was a little boy, I used to get up early, in the morning before I went to school, and Willard Scott would get on. Now, I don't know if you know who Willard Scott is. He was an amazing, actually he did the weather, but one of his great talents was to go out and ask people questions. And so the question he would ask is, how old is somebody? And he would get on and say, Margaret Smith from Tupelo, Mississippi is a ripe old age of 101. And then Brian McDaniel from Nacogdoches, Texas is 103 years old. And back then, it was so uncommon to have people who go over to 100 years old that it was almost like he had to get there and just, it was like amazing. These people live so long. Well, if you know anything, we are actually living a really long time. And if I use my parents' and my grandparents' estimates, my grandmother is currently 97 years old. She's still active. She's still mostly right in her brain, and she still goes to church on a regular and consistent basis. My mother is in her 70s. This woman has never had cancer, never had diabetes, never had any communicable diseases that I'm aware of. And which means that if they're the estimate, that means that I'm going to probably live, provided I eat healthy and I exercise and I keep the stress level down and I go on vacation regularly, it's probably going to be probably a little longer than them, okay? Just estimates. Then I started having to ask myself a question that was asked many, many years ago by one of my mentors is, what are you doing right now to increase your income? That's the first question. The second question is, how valuable are you going to be at the age of 85? Now let's assume that I'm going to live to 95. How valuable I'm going to be. Now that's important because if you are not valuable, meaning you don't have enough income coming in or stoked away for those rainy days, you are in deep trouble. Now in this current situation, we have all this influx of the Affordable Care Act, and other people are calling it something else. But at the end of the day, the government, as wonderful as they are not going to be able to take care of it. They can't sustain it, which means you and me have to figure out a way to take care of ourselves and take care of our family members. So what are you doing today? What are you thinking about today to answer those two questions? Because believe it or not, it's going to sneak up on you. Some of you who are listening to this already real close to that, if not already walked across that. And I started seeing people at Walmart, and I'm seeing some of the greatest minds in our community working at Walmart, not because they really want to, it's because they don't have enough income. They've outlived their income. So what are you doing at your current employment or at your current business? Now, I challenge you to do something. I challenge you to go out and become what I call a professional income earner. That's very important. Not a doctor, not a lawyer, not a chiropractor, not a massage therapist, not a builder, not a mechanic. Are you working to become a professional income earner? Because yes, you can make income in all those professions. They are wonderful and we all need them. But are they the only way for you to generate income? 9 times out of 10, no. And if you know anything about what happened in the past, and specifically my ancestry is African and my wife is Caribbean. And it's almost a joke. How many jobs do you have? I mean, literally, how many different ways that somebody from the Caribbean that you know of can do roofing, mechanic, they can cook, they can do lawn care, they can take care of kids. I'm telling you. But sometimes when we get to this country, we forget that our ancestors had multiple careers and they had multiple streams of income because no one path was guaranteed. To increase that income, they had multiple income ways. So what are you doing? Now, I'm not saying you need to go out and kind of jump. That's crazy. That'll drive you crazy. Go out and find things that are generating income that have a predictable return on your investment, meaning that time, and also the stuff that's in your chingo, in your pocket, to be able to give you that income that is going to sustain you. Now, I'm a big promoter of health, but you got to be a promoter of wealth. Because you can have a wonderful health, but if you don't have any money to survive in the coming storm, you are in deep trouble. So it's kind of weird. So at the same time, you have to develop those strategies. So I ask you, What are you doing right now to make yourself more valuable and bring in income? And the second part is, how valuable are you going to be at age 85, 95, and heaven forbid, which is probably more common nowadays, 105, so that when your body is not as functional as it could be, your mind may be a little slippy, you might be slipping a gear there, that you have the money and you have built up a foundation for the future. This is Nike Roach. I look forward to seeing you on another one just like this. Remember, you're only here for a short time period, maybe 50 years of golden work years. Don't waste them watching TV, spending all day on social media. There is way more things to do that will enrich your life. Have a wonderful day and God bless.